Hey, what's going on guys? Gerome is here and he's our current Tempest Trials reward. You can get his 4-star version by accumulating 2,000 points and his 5-star version by accumulating 30,000 points. I would recommend trying to get him regardless if you need him or not because he is free. It just takes a little bit of time. Anyways, in this video we're going to discuss and review Gerome's stats and default set, then a short pros and cons segment, and we'll finish things off with some builds. At the very end I'll give you guys my personal thoughts on Gerome and how good or bad I think he will be for free-to-play guides. Gerome is a green axe flyer unit. At max level he has 45 HP, 38 attack, 25 speed, 34 defense, 19 resistance, and 161 BST. So for arena scoring, he's pretty good for that because he's in the 160 BST category, or bin, whatever you want to call it. His stats are almost identical to a neutral Cherche, just 1 less HP, 2 more defense, and 3 more resistance. He'll function just about the same as a neutral Cherche, but in general, Gerome's just a worse version of Cherche in my opinion, mostly because he can't get any IVs. Also, Cherche in my opinion is one of the best units 5-star plus 10 because of how easy it is to summon her. She's available as 3 and 4 stars. But like I said, Gerome is basically neutral Cherche, so he's not a bad unit at all. He can pretty much run the same type of builds as his mother, minus the speed oriented ones. His brand new weapon is Pole Axe Plus, 14 might and effective against cavalry units. It's inheritable and refinable. It's basically an axe version of Brotel and Rider's Bane. I don't see that many cavalry units in arena right now compared to a few months ago because of the uprise of dragon and armor emblem teams and the addition of trenches, but these weapons are still useful to have around for arena assault just in case you do see a team with multiple cavalry units. Assist is rally attack defense, great assist skill to have to increase arena points. This skill is actually on Valentine's Elwood, which was the last Tempest Trials reward hero, so that's kind of weird. A skill is Fortress Defense 3, grants 5 defense and inflicts -3 attack. Gerome already has insane attack and effective against weapons, so this skill isn't that bad for a budget set. With Pole Axe Plus, he'll still do fine against blue and cavalry units. Are there better skills for him other than Fortress Defense? Of course there is. B skill is Hit and Run, a great skill for flyer units. It allows your unit to retreat 1 space backwards after combat. In cases where Gerome doesn't 1-round KO, he can retreat, get out of harm's way, and finish the enemy off on the next turn. Even if he does 1-round KO, it's still very useful. Usually when one of your units attacks, you would have to use reposition or drawback on them in order to get them out of danger. The hit and run mechanic does that on its own. Not a bad unit at all. His default set is kind of underwhelming, but it can still be very effective. Just give him a special and a C-slot skill and he can become a pretty good tech pick for arena assault. If you see a team with a blue cavalry unit, you can slide Gerome on your team to counter them. He's also great to use versus teams with a Brave Lyn. Since he is a flyer unit, he's very weak to archers, so you can use him to provoke Brave Lyns towards him on one side of the map, then just use him to one-shot her on the flying player phase. Just watch out for teams with an archer and a red mage because they will both move towards him. Here's a budget build for him, default set with bonfire, flexible C slot, and flexible seal slot. This build is for those that do not want to invest too many resources into Gerome. The refinement for his weapon is up to you. You can go with the effect refinement instead, but I think the defense refinement will help him more, especially if you give him the Panic Ploy 3 seal. Other options in the B slot includes X-Breaker and Quick Riposte 2. Just make sure that if you give him Quick Riposte 2, don't give him Quick Riposte seal as well. That should be obvious though. If you don't give him Quick Riposte or a breaker skill, then he's just merely an anti-blue cavalry unit. With Quick Riposte equipped, then his coverage expands and he can start going head to head with blue infantry and armor units more efficiently. Here's an enemy phase set. I have Steady Stance as his primary A-slot skill, but close defense would be a bad option either. There's a bunch of Naois running around arena, so double close defense could help reduce a lot of damage from them. Also, without Steady Stance, he could easily provoke Brave Lyns easier. It's really up to you depending on your playstyle. Bonfire versus Ignis. Bonfire activates on his second counter hit if he gets doubled. With Ignis, he can use it on the flying player phase. If you use him to bait blue cavaliers, then he'll probably just end up one-shotting them on his first counter hit, so bonfire is better for those situations. By the way, you can run a lot of different axe weapons with this set. You can run Crom Sack, Slaying Hammer, or even Slaying Axe. If you plan to give him Slaying Axe, just make sure to give him Ignis instead of bonfire. Here's a player face set. This is one of the most common sets for Gerome. Brave Axe, Death Blow, Hit and Run. If you give him the Heavy Blade Seal, then Gale Force is a good option for the special. If not, then Draconic Aura or Bonfire is the way to go. There's also that Braspiration quad build that people like to run for fun. You can also try something like this: Sturdy Stance, Quicker Post, Heavy Blade Seal with Aether. With Slaying Axe equipped, Aether's cooldown goes down to 4. If an enemy doubles Gerome, he can proc Aether on the second counter hit as long as he has more attack than them. C-Slot is flexible, but Panic Ploy is a good option there. So Gerome is a pretty good free-to-play unit. If you have a Gerome already, then he's kind of meh, but he can still be useful by being a Cavalier counter. If you like a green flower unit, then I would say he's well worth the promotion to 5 stars if you can't get a hold of his 5-star version. You could argue that he's better than Gerome because he has more BST, so he scores more, but Gerome is easier to merge, and merge levels are more important than BST numbers. As for using him in free-to-play guides, I can't really say for sure how good he will be. Usually units with effective against weapons are useful for free-to-play guides, but Gerome lacks a special which is pretty huge, and I don't think he can go toe-to-toe with too many Infernal Cavalry units unless it was multiple blue ones. He might be able to take out, let's say, a blue Cavalier unit and a green one, but 2 green Cavalry units might be too much for him, especially since a lot of them run Moonbow or something. I don't really use Tempest Trials units for free-to-play guides that often anyways, aside from the Black Knight, because not everybody has them, and Tempest Trials heroes don't come back that often, so don't expect Gerome to appear often or at all in my future free-to-play videos. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions about Batman Gerome, then feel free to ask them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.